David Muir, ABC's World News Tonight, America's most watched newscast. Now streaming same day with all the breaking news of the day on Disney+. Most watched, most trusted. Now on Disney+ every night.
Tonight, the breaking news here. Actor and filmmaker Rob Reiner's son arrested for murder in the killing of his parents. Tonight, the new and horrific details beginning to emerge. Police say Rob and Michelle Reiner found stabbed to death in their home in Los Angeles. Their son Nick now arrested. And what we're now learning about the scene inside the home. Reiner behind so many iconic movies. This is Spinal Tap, When Harry Met Sally, The Princess Bride, and A Few Good Men. The latest on the investigation tonight. Also breaking this evening, new images just released a short time ago by authorities, they say, of the killer still on the loose in the deadly shooting at Brown University. Dressed in black, walking through a neighborhood, his face covered by a mask, only his eyes visible. And what we've now learned about the person of interest who had been in custody. Tonight, the horrific attack on the first night of Hanukkah in Sydney. At least 15 people killed. Authorities say a father and son opening fire together. And tonight, the extraordinary images here, that heroic Samaritan tackling one of the gunmen. He was shot himself while trying to save others. Back in the U.S., outside Boston tonight, the verdict in the Brian Walshe murder trial, on trial for killing his wife and mother of three, disappearing on New Year's Day. What the jury decided. Tonight, the dangerous cold from the deep south all the way up to the northeast, what you'll face tomorrow morning. And then the big change and the first look tonight at Christmas week across the country. Tonight, off the coast of Florida, the fire breaking out, a Coast Guard helicopter racing in. There's also news tonight on Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes and that torn ACL, what they're now saying tonight. Also this evening, the tributes pouring in for a beloved star from daytime TV. One half of an iconic couple, their TV wedding watched by 30 million.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We begin tonight here with the horrific murders of Hollywood actor and director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle, stabbed to death in their own home. Tonight, their son Nick Reiner is now under arrest in their murders. The chilling case unfolding over the last 24 hours, police say the bodies of Rob and Michelle Reiner were found stabbed to death in their Los Angeles home. Tonight, sources telling ABC News their daughter was the one who found them. Officers then swarming the neighborhood. Their son, 32-year-old Nick Reiner, was taken into custody overnight. He had been open about his own struggles over the years, including his battle with drug addiction. He and his father making a movie together about those struggles. Rob Reiner was known to generations of Americans, beginning with All in the Family. He played Archie Bunker's son-in-law, and he went on to direct some of the most iconic films of the last 4 decades. ABC's Trevor Ault leading us off from Los Angeles.
Tonight, the horrifying double murder in Los Angeles. Iconic filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle both killed. Their son Nick now suspected in their murders. Sources tell ABC News the couple's daughter found them Sunday stabbed to death inside their Los Angeles home. Police soon on scene.
They worked throughout the night on this case and were able to take into custody Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case. He was subsequently booked for murder.
A neighbor tells ABC News the Reiners' good friends, comedians Billy Crystal and Larry David, both visited the home after police arrived, saying Crystal looked like he was about to cry.
Trevor Tafahima laying a flower and candle at the gate. He works security at the Reiner home. Tells me their son Nick lived on the property and was obviously troubled.
You could tell he had some problems with drug addiction. If Nick is the suspect, I would never have thought that he would have done this to his parents.
Sources tell ABC News Rob Reiner and his son Nick got into an argument Saturday night at a holiday party where Nick was seen acting strangely. In 2016, he and his father worked together on Being Charlie, a film inspired by Nick's own struggles.
Do I smell like weed?
No. The father and son then talked about what it meant for their relationship.
I think the bonding came not from the story itself, but from the fact that we were working on a movie together.
It forced me to have to see more clearly and understand more deeply what Nick had gone through. And I think it forced him to see things that I had experienced during this process.
For 6 decades, Rob Reiner was one of the most beloved figures in Hollywood, first bursting onto the scene as Michael Stivic on the 70s sitcom All in the Family.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Bunker.
No, let me tell you something, Mr. Stivic. You are a meathead.
But it was his work as a director where he helped create some of the most celebrated movies ever. His first film, the cult classic mockumentary This Is Spinal Tap.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
Then the coming-of-age story Stand By Me, the fantastical comedy The Princess Bride, the gripping courtroom drama A Few Good Men.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
And the gold standard of romantic comedy When Harry Met Sally.
Because when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
It was on that set where Reiner met his wife Michelle, a photographer. Reiner was also an outspoken critic of President Trump. In a jarring post today, the president blamed Reiner's death on his politics, saying he was killed because of the anger he caused others through his mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome. And late today, President Trump at the White House doubled down after this horrific family tragedy.
I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all, in any way, shape, or form.
That post drawing immediate outrage, even among some Republicans. Congressman Thomas Massey calling it inappropriate and disrespectful discourse about a man who was just brutally murdered. Tonight, the tributes are pouring in. Reinl's Spinal Tap co-star Harry Shearer saying Reiner had a laugh so uproarious it was audible around the block, saying he was funny, he was smart, he was a mensch. Kevin Bacon worked with Reiner on A Few Good Men. He posted this video.
I'm just sending love to everybody that knew him, because I know that everyone's hurting today.
And former President Barack Obama writing, beneath all of the stories he produced was a deep belief in the goodness of people and a lifelong commitment to putting that belief into action. And David, law enforcement sources say after his parents' murders, Nick Reiner, their son, did not stick around here at the house. They say they found him near USC, where he was taken into custody. He is now being held without bail. David.
Trevor Ault on the scene there in Brentwood. Trevor, thank you. There is also breaking news in the manhunt for the killer still on the loose tonight in the deadly mass shooting at Brown University. Just a short time ago, take a look at this. Authorities releasing these new images tonight of a person of interest dressed in black there, walking through a neighborhood, his face covered by a mask. At some points here, his eyes are visible. And what we've now learned about that person of interest who had been in custody. Whit Johnson on the scene in Providence again tonight.
Tonight, the urgent manhunt is back on to find a suspect in the deadly mass shooting at Brown University, still at large after more than 48 hours.
We want to see the individual that pulled the trigger on these young kids identified, apprehended, and brought to justice.
Moments ago, police releasing these new surveillance videos showing a person of interest in dark clothing walking in a residential area hours before the shooting Saturday afternoon, seen crossing the street, and this image showing him from the front.
We're asking the public for assistance to be able to identify this individual.
It follows a stunning turn in the investigation. A man previously detained, released overnight. The Rhode Island Attorney General telling ABC News the man was effectively cleared after analyzing the evidence.
Do you believe people here should feel safe right now?
I do. I understand why there is deep discomfort. However, we have a very safe community with a lot of law enforcement resources at our disposal right now.
The first reports of an active shooter coming just after 4 p.m. Saturday in the midst of final exams.
2 victims, 1 shot in the back, 1 shot in the shoulder.
Students barricading themselves inside classrooms, hiding underneath desks. Law enforcement going room by room.
Providence police! Hands! Stand up, hands!
Police say the gunmen entered the Barris and Holly Engineering Building and opened fire on the first floor. Joseph Adura was inside a lecture hall leading a study group of about 60 students when he says the shooter walked in, his face almost completely covered, and looked him in the eye.
I saw something bulging from his chest, so maybe some type of ammo or bulletproof vest.
Oduro guiding students to take cover behind a desk. Police say the gunman fired more than 40 rounds from a 9mm handgun inside that lecture hall before fleeing the scene. 2 students killed, 9 others injured.
What did you see as you were walking out?
I think honestly it felt like a video game site. It was just something I've never really seen before. Students just agonizing in pain.
Among those killed, Muhammad Aziz Umarzakov from Uzbekistan. His family writing on GoFundMe, he was incredibly kind, funny, and smart. Our family is incredibly devastated by this loss. And Ella Cook, a sophomore from Alabama, remembered as a bright light.
Her loss is really, really a big hit for the brown community. It's going to be a long period of healing and pain going forward to start next semester.
And again, David, just moments ago, authorities releasing these new surveillance images of a person of interest. They want the public to study them closely. The FBI is now offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction. David.
Whit Johnson right there in Providence. Whit, thank you. Now to the horrific and deadly attack on the first night of Hanukkah in Sydney, Australia. At least 15 people were killed in this. A father and son opening fire together. And tonight here, look at this, the extraordinary images. The heroic Samaritan tackling one of the gunmen. He was shot himself while trying to save others. ABC's Britt Clennett from Sydney.
Tonight, new details on the father and son who authorities say carried out that anti-Semitic massacre at a Hanukkah celebration on Australia's iconic Bondi Beach. At least 15 people killed, dozens more wounded. Dramatic video of a heroic bystander tackling one of the alleged shooters, wrestling that long gun out of his hands, turning it on the suspect. Tonight, law enforcement sources telling ABC News the two shooters are 50-year-old father Sajid Akram and his 24-year-old son Naveed. Sources say they pledged allegiance to ISIS and shouted Allahu Akbar while opening fire. Authorities say 2 ISIS flags, weapons and IEDs were recovered near the scene. The attack unfolding Sunday night local time as hundreds gathered to celebrate the first night of Hanukkah.
I just heard a few fireworks going off. That's what it sounded like anyway.
One of the shooters seen ducking while unloading a barrage of bullets. You see a man crouching under the bridge while the shooters were perched. Marcos Carvalho filming as he ran for his life.
I must have heard, I don't know, maybe like 40, 50 shots.
And tonight, that man who wrestled the gun away from one of the shooters, now identified as 43-year-old Ahmed Al-Ahmed, a Syrian-born Muslim, father of 2 and local fruit vendor. He was shot twice but has survived.
I know my brother, he's a brave one, you know. He's a good man. He have a good heart, you know. He was trying to defend about the people.
We're also learning more about the victims. 10-year-old Matilda Britvan, seen here in that yellow dress, a dolphin painted on her face just moments before the shooting. She was reportedly killed in front of her 6-year-old sister. Tonight, Matilda remembered as a bright, joyful and spirited child who brought light to everyone around her.
David, as for the suspects, the father was killed and we know that his son was wounded during the attack. David?
That growing memorial right there behind you, Britt. Thank you. Back here in the U.S. tonight, the Justice Department says it has foiled an alarming New Year's Eve terror plot. They say 4 suspects were planning to fill backpacks with pipe bombs and detonate them at midnight on New Year's Eve at 5 locations in Southern California. The FBI and Homeland Security officials have been warning the nation's police to be on alert with the holidays approaching. Tonight outside Boston, a guilty verdict, the Brian Walshe murder trial. The jury finding him guilty of killing his wife. Here's Aaron Katursky.
Brian Walshe walked out of court in handcuffs and shackles after a jury outside Boston convicted him of killing his wife, Anna, a mother of 3, before dismembering her body.
What say the jury? Is the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Guilty of what, sir?
Murder in the first degree.
His wife's body has never been found since she vanished on New Year's Day 2023, but prosecutors had ample incriminating evidence, including Walsh's online searches for things like how long before a body starts to smell and dismemberment and best ways to dispose of a body. Jurors also saw video of Walshe buying a hacksaw, hatchet, and cleaning supplies.
We've seen other cases where we've not had a body, but this is the first one I can remember we've had a first-degree conviction.
Before trial, Walshe admitted to disposing of his wife's body, claiming he panicked after she died in her sleep. Prosecutors said Walshe killed his wife because the couple was having financial problems and she was having an affair. The first-degree murder conviction, David, means Brian Walshe, seen here in that store surveillance video buying all of those incriminating items, is going to spend the rest of his life in prison without the possibility of parole, sentencing set for Wednesday. David?
Aaron Katursky on this again tonight. Aaron, thank you. We turn now to the dangerous cold tomorrow morning again, and then the big change. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z with us here on a Monday night. Hi, Ginger.
Hi, David. The wind chill already in the teens, going to stay that way here in New York, but this isn't as big of a deal for us as it is for a place like Mobile, Alabama. You see them tomorrow morning with a wind chill of 24. So that's the last morning we see the 20s all the way down to Florida and the freezing mark, for at least for wind chills. Because then, by Thursday, what we've seen as daily record highs out in the Southwest is going to start to bleed to the east. And by Thursday, we'll see mid-50s for highs in Washington, D.C. It'll be 50 degrees in Cincinnati. That after they started this morning sub-zero. And by next week, Christmas week, we're staying above average for about 2/3 of the nation. David.
Ginger Z with us tonight. Thank you, Ginger. Tonight, President Trump is vowing retaliation for the ISIS attack, killing 2 U.S. soldiers and a civilian interpreter in Syria, saying they will be, quote, hit hard. The Pentagon identifying the soldiers tonight, Sergeant Edgar Torres Tovar and Sergeant William Howard, both of Iowa, the first U.S. combat deaths in Syria since 2019. When we come back tonight, dramatic images off the coast of Florida this evening, a fire breaking out, a Coast Guard helicopter racing in. You'll see it. There's also news tonight in Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes and that torn ACL and what they're now saying about this. And the tributes pouring in tonight for a beloved star from daytime TV, a half of that iconic couple, their TV wedding watched by 30 million, and what he died from in a moment here. Tonight, the rescue off the coast of Florida, a fisherman's boat catching fire 100 miles west of Clearwater. Helicopter crew spotting the smoke, the boater on a life raft. When they got to him, rescuers then pulling him to safety. Tonight, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback, as you know, Patrick Mahomes out for the season. Mahomes suffering that torn ACL in the loss to the Chargers. Kansas City now out of playoff contention. Mahomes is expected to need surgery, but tonight the Chiefs head coach Andy Reid now says that Mahomes will get a second opinion before any surgery. The other story, Indianapolis Colts quarterback and grandfather Philip Rivers making NFL history. At 44, Rivers coming out of retirement playing against the Seahawks. Rivers completing 18 passes, including 1 touchdown. Quite a game, not a win, but quite a comeback. When we come back tonight, remembering one of the biggest stars of daytime TV, one half of the beloved daytime couple, Luke and Laura, and what he died from in a moment. To the Index, we learned today that General Hospital star Anthony Geary died due to complications from a medical procedure. He was 78. Best known for his role as Luke Spencer, one half of the iconic daytime couple Luke and Laura. Their TV wedding watched by 30 million viewers. Anthony Geary was again 78. We remember a colleague tonight at our ABC station in Houston, a local TV legend. Former KTRK anchor Dave Ward has died. His career spanning 50 years, viewers were drawn to his down-to-earth style. He signed off from ABC 13 in 2017. Dave Ward was 86. When we come back here tonight, from A Few Good Men to that scene in When Harry Met Sally, do you remember the woman who delivered that iconic line? Finally tonight here, Rob Reiner's legacy. So many unforgettable movies. Rob Reiner, the actor and Hollywood filmmaker, would direct some of the most iconic and most quoted movies of the 20th century. The son of Carl Reiner, Rob Reiner, was cast in All in the Family at 23.
So, you're Mr. Bunker.
You figured that out, huh?
Archie Bunker's son-in-law. The role would earn Reiner 2 Emmys.
Love is never having to say it, right, Dad?
The meathead is right.
His first feature film, This Is Spinal Tap, in 1984. It was largely improvised.
It's such a fine line between stupid and clever.
There was Stand By Me in 1986.
Just imagine that I could go someplace where nobody knows me.
The Princess Bride in 1987.
Can you move at all? Move? You're alive. If you want, I can fly.
He would direct Misery in 1990.
There! Look there! See what you made me do?
He would direct those iconic scenes in A Few Good Men in 1992.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
And of course, When Harry Met Sally with Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan. That famous scene in Katz's Deli and the line delivered by Rob Reiner's mother, Estelle.
I'll have what she's having.
And after Rob Reiner met his wife Michelle on the set of that movie, he would change the script after finding love himself.
Rob, who at that time was thinking, that's never going to happen for me, I'm never going to fall in love again. And then it happens, and we were all witnesses to it.
People love to talk about how they meet and fall in love. Every story's good.
Rob Reiner's incredible body of work. Tomorrow night, the Rob Reiner story, A Hollywood Tragedy, 10 Eastern, Tuesday night on ABC, then Disney Plus and Hulu. I'm David Muir. Good night.
David Muir, the most watched newscast in America. And now, ABC's World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program for the third year in a row.